Evolutionary Podcast coming your way. Love that intro music, by the way. Stevesmi here and Rick in the house. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Steve? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing out there?
This is podcast 323. This is going to be a Q&A episode, guys. So we have 5 awesome topics. Let's just jump right into it. What do you think, Rick? So the first topic that came in, best cutting compounds for the 2020 season. So, we're going into beach season, summer. A lot of guys want to look lean. A lot of guys want to get cut up for the summer. So, Rick, I'm going to bring you in on this because you're a big cutter. You love cutting. What's your opinion when this question came in?
That's a good question. 2020, so we've got to include and talk about some of the new stuff out there. Obviously, GW. GW is about as the best new cutting compound out there. I think it's quite close to perfect when it comes to cutting. Gives you incredible endurance. It doesn't make your heart race. It's non-stimulant like a clenbuterol is. And it really does burn fat. It really does burn fat. It's a great compound. Obviously, problem is getting legitimate GW. It's real easy to get screwed. There are no home kits for GW like there are for other steroids. So you don't even have a chance of even figuring it out. So you do have to get it from a place that's trusted. Also, obviously Anavar, Winstrol, Primobolan, Masteron. These are all still available and very relevant in 2020. So I still use those. IGF is a great one. Human growth hormone. If you're talking about cutting, melting some fat off, and you have the money to get good human grade stuff, human growth hormone. I've been talking about this stack for a little bit now, Steve. I think a great cutting stack, if you can afford it and get good legitimate stuff, a good 2020 cutting stack is obviously Anavar, obviously GW, and then throw either human growth hormone or IGF on top of that, or maybe another peptide of your choice. It's a nice little cutting stack. So what do you think, Steve?
Well, with cutting, I've always viewed, cutting steroids as dry compounds that don't aromatize. So, the compounds, not just that don't aromatize, but don't inflame the body. So I consider Tren more of a bulker than a cutter, because on Tren, you still so much inflammation that you're going to get some bloat on it just from the inflammation. If you've ever ran Tren, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You get some size on you so quickly on it. So I don't consider that a cutter. But yeah, I agree with you. Anavar is a great cutter. Winstrol is great for vascularity and pumps. Anavar is great for pumps and vascularity as well. And then you got Masteron, which is a great cosmetic steroid for hardening the muscles. But at the end of the day, if you're overweight, if you've got fat on your body, and Rick and I, we're showing off each other's abs before the podcast, and obviously I'm leaner than Rick. So Rick was giving me shit, but I'm leaner than him. He's been kind of getting out of shape during the pandemic. So what's the key? The key is diet. At the end of the day, diet. Diet is the key. These steroids will dry you out. These steroids will harden your muscles. But if your muscles are covered by fat, then what's the point of even running them? So you've got to already be lean. You have to be at least under 10 or 11% to even bother running one of these cutting steroids. Otherwise, you're just going to dry out and then you can't dry away fat on your body. So you got to cut that fat, guys. You got to cut that fat. And look, there's a difference between fitness, bodybuilding, and normal Joe. Like the normal Joe in North America or Western Europe, they're 18% body fat, 20% body fat. And that's fine. That's the average dad bod. But we're not average. We are special. We're unique. We're the guys that walk into a room and girls look at us, or we're on the beach and chicks look at us, or gay guys look at us and they're like, damn, I want to bang that motherfucker. So that's what we want to do.
What the fuck did you just say? I'm trying to hold it in, man. I've been trying to hold it in ever since you said you were leaner than me, because that's just a dream. All right. Anyway, I didn't mean to slow your roll, Steve. Just keep going. Keep going. I'll wait for my turn.
No, but that's my point. It starts with diet. Diet, you got to get your diet down. You got to lean up. So N2 before meals. It partitions the food. It blocks fat from being stored. Eating in a window is great. Eating in a window keeps your insulin levels down throughout the day, so your body won't go into fat storage mode. Those are really good tips. So eating a whole food, natural diet, single ingredient, whole food diet, that helps. That helps you get leaner. So these are things you have to do with the steroids. The steroids are the icing on the cake. So once you get lean, then you can start throwing these dry compounds at the body. So what do you want to finish up with this topic, Rick?
So I'm running a little dry up, kind of a little cycle now. I'm posting pictures on social of my progress and what I'm doing. Basically doing 50 mgs of Anavar every day, planned out for about 4 weeks. I'm adding N2, HC Generate, the Hain Flame EX, obviously N2 T3 PCT. So it's a nice big stack of natural over-the-counter stuff that's just getting everything in my body primed up to just burn that fat and put on that muscle mass. Also, my diet, I'm playing with time-restricted feeding, fasting, and obviously the 50 mgs of oxandrolone are there to make sure I'm not losing muscle mass as I cut down. And I'm going to try to gain a little bit of muscle mass, even as I'm on a caloric deficit. So as we were just both showing off, I think I'm about, 10, 11% right now, body fat. Steve, you're like 17, I think. And I'm trying to just get down with these little 4-week run down to a quick single digit, like 9%, 8%. Log in everything from my weight, workouts, diet, all that stuff. Hopefully I could put a nice little package together for everybody and let you guys see what I'm doing. But Anavar, if you have good diet, if you're training, if you have a decent supplement regimen, just need a little bit of, like here, Anavar, to make sure that muscle mass is protected. As you're depleting calories, you're going to be burning more fat. And so that when you lift weights and you tear that muscle tissue up, it's got the Anavar there to help promote its regeneration, its growth. I mean, you just need a little bit of a good, nice, strong androgen. 50 mgs a day of bar. It's about right. I'm taking HC Generate ES to make sure that I don't get suppressed with the VAR. I have nice, high natural testosterone anyway. So just keep that going. And that's it, N2, obviously. And obviously good nutrition, proper training. And we'll see where I can get 4 weeks. Come follow me. Come check out what I'm doing. It's rickyvrock.com. That's going to forward right to my social. You could check me out. It's RICKYVROCK.com. Just come check it out.
Yeah, Rick's just jelly. I'm more like 7 or 8% body fat. Rick's just jelly that I can stay lean like this year round. All right, guys. So the next one is what to do in between cycles to bridge. So this is a really good question. So I'm going to explain a little bit what happens to your reproductive system when you're on steroids and then you do PCT and then you come off. And then Rick, I'm going to bring Rick in, and he's going to kind of give you his tips on some natural supplements that you can take in between cycles. So when you're using anabolic steroids, you're using exogenous steroids, your pituitary glands, they're smart. They're going to know, hey, I'm getting an excess amount of hormones. So your pituitary glands are going to go dormant. Your LH, your FSH are going to crater down to near zero. Your body's not going to be producing hormones anymore. So your Leydig cells aren't going to get anything. That's why your Leydig cells, your nuts, they shrink on cycle for that reason. So that when now you run a PCT, the PCT gives you a soft landing, because when you come off steroids, those esters, they kind of tick off. They tick down off out of your system. As they're ticking down, you want to get a soft landing. You want something to be in there. That PCT gives you a soft landing. It kind of pushes your pituitary glands to wake up so that you get a little effect. And then after PCT, your own body has to recover on its own. So bridging is after your post-cycle therapy. So you have your cycle, you have the post-cycle, then you have the bridge. And then once you're recovered, you can use that bridge to kind of give you that on feeling, to keep to hold your muscle gains, to prevent fat from rebounding. And then you can go back and run your next cycle once you're fully recovered. So that's the order. And if you decide, hey, I'm going to take a break from steroids, then you just take a break from steroids. You can take natural supplements during that time. That's fine. So I want to bring in Rick because Rick's really studied this for years about in between cycles, how you can hold on to your strength and your muscle in between cycles. So what's your ideas for bridging between cycles, Rick?
I go with the herbals. I've been saying it on the podcast for a while now. Herbals have been working since before there was even a supplement industry, before there was even such a thing as a supplement industry. Men have been using herbs in their environment to heal themselves, to help enhance themselves. It has been a thing. Every culture has had that knowledgeable person, man or woman, that understands herbs, understands botanicals, understands extracts. Just recently, we got down to the molecular level and we know what is actually active in these compounds. I think that's the first stop everybody should take, is using some of the herbal extracts, stuff that's available, to help promote and help your body optimize and make the most that it can make. So I haven't put myself, and I'm not going to put myself on permanent TRT yet. I actually cycle off and use testosterone boosters. And that's just all I use in between. HCG or ADS, bridge. I stack those two together. I do 3 bridge and I do 4, sometimes only 3 HCG or ADS. And I feel great on it. Feel great in the gym. Feel nice and motivated. Libido is up. Dick is hard every morning. It's hard on demand. I actually know and can tell I'm making progress. It's not like a lot of guys report back to me and they feel like when they're in between cycle, they see no progress. And if they've been off of the steroids for too long, they feel like they're shrinking, even though they're hitting the gym. See, I don't get that. I feel good. So definitely use the herbals to push, to promote what your body can do naturally. Post-cycle therapy of properly, and do that. You'd want to know just how to always get your body and yourself into a sustainable level, because you never know when you just have to come off of this stuff for whatever reason. Yeah, so just don't give up the fight. Don't put yourself on just TRT by yourself because of just being irresponsible with your steroid use. There's no need for that. You should be able to walk away from this, keep a good amount of your gains, stay healthy, and never have to touch the stuff again, and just live it out. I'm not going to use steroids forever. Obviously, I'm going into my 40s. Right around 50s is when I'm probably just going to stop. And I'll have to rely on what my body can make naturally, taking herbs, things like that. See, I'm in a different situation. If I'd never taken steroids my whole life and I was hitting into 40, 50, now I could really get crazy. But I've used them for too long now. It's time to get off. And I'm going to have to probably not use them anymore around the time that I really, really need them. So I kind of screwed myself in that regard. So when I tell guys to wait, don't use a lot, just wait, give yourself time. If you haven't ran a bunch of methylated steroids through your liver and you haven't put a ton of synthetic androgens, banging every androgen-dependent cancer cell in your body, and if you hadn't done this for decades, right, going into 40, 50, you can. Now you can do some of that. But see, I'm on the opposite end. So something to keep in mind, guys, the more you can push and promote yourself naturally, use dieting, good training practices to just look good, be nice and lean. You don't have to be, if you need to be huge and you have to use Trenbolone a couple times a year to look that way, you have to think about these decisions. What is your end goal? So yeah, in between cycles, and there should be a long time in between cycles, use the herbals, help you promote your own production, natural production, good sleeping habits, making sure your body makes a good amount of human growth hormone every night so you sleep well, good eating so that it's pretty effortless for you to stay lean and you don't have to constantly be cutting, and no, you can retain your muscle mass. Just eat clean. Again, training habits, all that good stuff. What do you think, Steve?
At the end of the day, you have to stay consistent in the gym, and you have to also accept that it's normal to lose some strength and some of your results, gains, quote unquote, after cycle. I mean, you have to just accept that because this is a marathon, not a sprint. So you're not going to gain everything that you're ever going to make, in one cycle. This isn't a 12-week thing. This is a 12-year thing. And guys have been training for 10, 20, 30 years, and they still haven't reached their peak yet. So you have to take a long-term approach to this. It's fun to get fast results, but it's not fun when you come off and those fast results go away very quickly. So fast results, just like fast money, right, Rick? Just like fast women. You mess around with fast women, you'll end up with STDs and 18 years of child support on a bunch of kids. Fast money, you'll make a lot of money, and then you'll go broke over and over. Same thing. Fast gains, it can ricochet on you really bad. It'll boomerang back on you. So take a long-term approach on this, and don't fear losing some gains. Don't fear losing some strength.
Yeah, I'm that long-term study myself. So you guys want to follow me around, listen to this podcast, follow me on social, subscribe to my other podcasts, because I'm going to let you guys know everything that goes on with my health from here on out, and you're going to know what's going on with me. So if the steroid use since I was 20, 21 starts to catch up with me, you'll know about it. And if it helps discourage some guys from starting, great. If it helps guys who've decided that they're going to use to be more responsible, great as well. I think it'll add value either way. At the end of the day, my job here is to add value to you guys in this lifestyle, not to just glorify it and not talk about the bad aspects of it, and not talk about things that are in prices that I've had to pay for using steroids, right? So yeah, I mean, you're gonna be able to see me and Steve, and we've both winded down on our steroid use quite a bit, a lot, because as you get older, and you just kind of get burned out on it after a while, because you're not, this is, we're not looking to compete and win trophies. You're just doing it because you want to feel better, because you want to internally feel like you're still in your teens. You still want to have all that energy and that drive, that motivation, just everything. You just want to continue to hold on to that feeling. And it's great. But at the end of the day, if you can delay it and be real responsible with it, the better. The better. And then as you get older, then you can really use it when you really need it, when it'll completely change and enhance your lifestyle. Right? So something to think about.
All right, so this leads into the next topic. Are PCTs becoming flawed? This is a good one. So, we can go back and look at back in the old days, when I first started going on forums, guys would recommend taking a bunch of Clomid, a bunch of Novadex, just throwing a bunch of drugs at their body. And then you have other guys that would come in and, like your buddy, Nelson Montana, Rick, he used to come in and say, oh, don't run SERMs. SERMs don't, they do more harm than good. Run natural. So, you'd have different opinions, and people started experimenting with different PCTs. And at the end of the day, a lot of guys pushing, one way or this way or that way. Now you ask them, what do they do for PCT? And they say, oh, I'm on TRT for the rest of my life. So obviously.
And on Nelson's defense, I just want to say this on Nelson's defense, because Nelson is about 67 now, I think. So old guy. The times changed on him. Times really changed on him. He's from the old school of bodybuilding where guys used to take like 200, 300 megs a week of Primo, and that was like a cycle. And then when the forums started to change, and then when the European sources started to influence the buyers and create these huge fucking 2-3 gram cycles for guys that are just going to sit at home and and work at the office and doing 2 gram, 3 grams a week of juice, right? It kind of time shifted on him. So yeah, once you get over these gram something doses, gotta use serums. I mean, it's a different story. But if you do like a little couple hundred week cycle of Primo, look, the idea that I pushed today that I say you need to stay under a gram, I'm gonna tell you something. I read this in Nelson's first book, which was out in 2001, 2002. I think it was 03 when I read Nelson's first book, and he said you should stay under a gram. And if you can't make gains in under a gram, then you can't make gains. You got other problems. I keep saying that. I read that in Nelson's first book. And then I went out, and I had already before that done grams of juice, and I went out, still did grams of juice a week. And then after all of that, now I repeat the same thing that I got from Nelson back then. And I tell guys, if you can't stay under a gram of steroids a week and make some good progress, maybe slower progress, you got some core lifestyle issues. Either that or you're just fucking huge. You're just fucking humongous, and your baseline is a gram a week just to maintain the gains you got. And now you need some peptides, and you need some insulin just to get even bigger than that because you're just that big guy. But if you're just, dude, if you just want to look good for the office, jersey short, if you're doing over a gram, then you're doing everything else wrong. If you need to do over a gram of steroids a week, then everything else you're doing is fucked up and is wrong. So yeah, times changed on Nelson, and for his old school ways, lower dosing, and look back in the Arnold days, right? 80s, 70s, Ron Nelson, because Nelson competed too. He's a competitor. And he was a writer for Testosterone magazine. For his times, herbals is where it's at. Live 52 for your liver. Essential Forte for your liver. Some of this old school stuff worked, and he carried that on, but things changed on him. And then he was trying to tell guys on the forums that were maybe doing not just a couple grams of steroids, but also peptides, and some were fucking with insulin and DMP and all these things. And it's kind of what happened, just to defend Nelson there a little bit. We should have Nelson on the podcast now that we discussed Mr. Nelson Montana. We should probably have him on the podcast for an episode or two. He's a real interesting guy, very knowledgeable, and is still in incredible shape for a guy his age. He just lives it. He's just in incredible shape, and he's still very deep into the fitness industry. We should probably get him on for a podcast or two.
Yeah, I was just giving an example of that, but like my point basically is PCT flawed, and I see a lot of PCTs out there that are way too aggressive. Just people are under the wrong impression, Rick, that you can just throw a bunch of drugs at the problem. You see these PCTs that are just absurd, like 300 milligrams of Clomid, 100 milligrams of Nolvadex, tons of drugs.
Some guys are misguided, but I think PCTs are the best they've been now ever. Steve, you say this a lot. I don't think we've ever had access to blood testing as quickly, as efficiently, and as on demand and as cheaply as we do now. So something that was never mentioned in PCT 20 years ago, 30 years ago, which is what about your blood tests? Now it's a common practice. Some guys do get crazy with the dosing, say 100 mg of Clomid. And I think that happens because a lot of guys get screwed by their sources, and they get this research chemicals that don't have all the Clomid in there, or maybe the source themselves got screwed and they don't know what they should be looking for, and then they screw their customers down the line. And so now guys think they need 100 mg of Clomid, and that's what they'll keep telling everybody, because the guy they're getting the Clomid from is is impure. I mean, a lot of this stuff happens, right? Because even the Clomid dosage has shot up, in between guys ever since research and stuff came around. So that's real interesting when it comes to that. I think also another mistake guys make is adding SARMs to their post-cycle therapy. There's some that you can add and it won't suppress you any further. And it's actually a decent idea because it'll help you retain some of your gains. But there are others that can be suppressive. And if you add them to PCT, it's kind of like if you were doing a small dose of steroids anyway, because you're being suppressed anyway. It's throwing your hormones off whack anyway. So you kind of have to know what you're doing there. If you're going to add SARMs to your PCT, you got to get the right info and make sure you execute that properly. Because if you do it right, it'll help you retain more of your gains. If you do it wrong, you're just not really recovering. You're just suppressing yourself even further. And that's something I've seen a lot of guys that are really kind of hit and miss is throwing those SARMs and the dosing and the length of time into the cycles at the very end with their post-cycle therapy. And that dance has to be done just right. Otherwise, it can be counterproductive.
All right, guys. So, yeah, it's a fun one. We could talk about that again. Next one, guys, is working out with a group, buddy, or solo is it best? I think with weight training, I'm a big believer in weight training by yourself. And if you need a spotter here and there, you can call your buddy over from the other side of the gym. Hey, can you give me a spot? But I mean, with weight training, you're not really benefiting by working out in a group. It's not like endurance running. With endurance running, running with a group is very, very good because everybody paces. They have their pace. So you can pace with people. There's someone who's a little faster than you who you can kind of keep an eye on and make sure you don't get too far behind them. There's people who are a little slower than you who you can stay ahead of. And if you start going back and back and back and they start getting in front of you, I'm slowing down. I need to speed up my pace. So with running, it's really good to work out with a group. In fact, very, very essential to run with a group as much as you can. So you have that. That's why they have running clubs. And really any place you can find a running club and you can find people to run with, especially in the big cities. But with weight training, I don't see the point of working out in a group. It's not something that I partake in personally. I just can't imagine how it can be beneficial to do that. I see these groups, usually it's younger guys in the gym, and they're kind of they're dicking around, not really serious. They're just there, you never see them in the gym. They'll show up maybe once every couple weeks or something. Maybe they got a guest pass or something, but they're not really serious. So for me, just working out by myself, weight training by myself, that's the way to do it. And if I want to run, do something like that, then yeah, I'll go with a group. What do you think, Ray?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think any activity that you can just do by yourself, fitness activity you can do by yourself efficiently, and then also becomes fun with a group is something you should incorporate and engage in. We're talking about weight training specifically. You can go weight train by yourself. And it's also fun once in a while to weight train with a buddy or two or three, bullshit a little bit. Takes longer to get the workout in. You got to put in a little extra effort to stay warm in between your turn on the set. Maybe superset. I've done that before where I lead the workout for friends and I make sure we supersetting so we can stay around the same area, bullshit, talk about whatever, and then get the workout in. And it's great to do by yourself. Same thing. Look, mountain biking. Bike, you can go up on the bike by yourself, or you can go with a buddy. It's always fun. Same thing I tell people: go get a membership, go MMA gym, jiu-jitsu gym. The nicest people you've ever met are at these places, and you can go in and you can hit the bag by yourself, and you can also move around a little bit with someone, a little light contact, or maybe full out sparring. You could shadow box at home too, right? So any activities, in fitness activities that you can get into that you can do effectively by yourself, enjoy by yourself, and then incorporate other people, make it more fun, you're on the right track because then you have no excuses because you can incorporate your training at home. And then you're more encouraged to become social and meet other people and share information and share techniques and just have a change of pace. So what is better? A mix of the two. You got to be able to do it either way. You have to be able to train on your own so you don't have excuses. If your buddy doesn't show up or whatever, that you can't get your full training in. And you also want to make it fun for yourself and be social with other folks and share some of these fitness activities with them. So, yeah, that's what I think.
All right, guys. I really do think a gym environment is really, really important with weight training, by the way. Really, really important because of that peer pressure and stuff. I just prefer to work out by myself, but I like the environment of a gym with other people working out. So that's just me. I think most people would agree with that. But just find out what works best for yourself,
And it always depends, whatever motivates you. I live inside of my head a lot. And when I push myself to extreme pain is where I feel like I'm putting the work in. And I've done this by myself in a basement, shadow boxing, training, drilling, jumping rope, whatever, and felt great. And I've done this, in a gym where there are people there or performing in front of people, whatever it is. You have to enjoy that process of bringing yourself to that point of pain, control pain, which is what most people shy away from. That's why they'll never be fit. They're going to be fat and out of shape the whole life. You have to enjoy that pain, that burning sensation. Have to be just a tiny bit of a masochist. Enjoy the endorphins releasing after you brought yourself to pain. All those feel-good hormones that your body naturally makes when you're in pain, but you're doing it for a good reason. And as long as you can really enjoy that and kind of become addicted to that feeling, man, you'll train anywhere, whether you're by yourself in a room with no equipment or anything, you climb your feet up on that wall and bust out some push-ups, or whether you're in a gym and you gotta wait in line for the bench, whatever it is, you'll put out. But you have to enjoy that pain and the reward of those feel-good hormones your body gives you after you've done the workout, after you've done. I mean, look, I'm preaching to the choir here. You listen to this podcast, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
All right, guys. So our last topic, relationship topic. This is a guy, he sent in a question. He said that he came home from work and he walked in on his wife and she was in bed with his best friend. So this is really one that really, really hurts. That's a huge betrayal. So he wants to know what he should do. So, this is really, really a bad situation. I can't imagine what this guy must be going through. Not only is his wife cheating on him, but it's with his best friend. And that hurts way more than if he had walked in and it was some random guy, that she had maybe met online or something. So, gosh, I mean, it really, really sucks. I mean, what I would do, look, at the end of the day, you have to get a divorce. You have to just move on.
And it sucks because normally he would go to his buddy and tell him what happened and have a shoulder to cry on, but it was his buddy that was screwing her. That's just fucked up.
Yeah, it is. So what I would do, look, I'd move out, like on the dot, get my stuff together, move out. You just can't be together anymore. If she wants your best friend, look, she can have him because she's going to end up doing the same thing to him eventually anyway. So it really doesn't matter. But that's it. Relationship's over. Friendship, over. I don't really understand how some of these guys who are in that situation can actually forgive their friend. It's like bros over hoes, that quote. No, I mean, I don't think so. Like friends, it's not that hard to make new friends.
He should have just joined them, right? They would have both banged her.
I mean, he could have just joined her and then ended up.
He could have joined in. They could have both banged her.
Well, I mean, you would have liked to join in, bro. You're into, the buy lifestyle, so you would have enjoyed it joining in.
You say shit like that, people might actually believe you, and then I'm gonna start getting some weird, fucked up messages on social. So just cut it out. Stop right there, bro.
So what would you do in this situation? Like, would you try to repair the marriage and try to repair the friendship, or would you just be like, fuck both of you, I'm out?
Yeah, see, it goes back to what I've been saying on the podcast when relationship questions come up. I would have seen the signs coming from a mile away. Like, you can't be in denial about her. You can't lie to yourself. And that happens a lot. It happens a lot because life is hard, making money, dealing with health, dealing with social structure. Everything is tough. So you don't want to sit there and spend extra time now doubting your relationship and doubting your significant other, even though they're giving you clear signs that things are fucked up. So it's really obvious what you do once you walk in on them, right? Get the fuck out of there. You can't be with her. She's a cheater. And obviously he wasn't your friend to begin with. They both did you a favor. Hopefully there are no children involved, because that makes things a lot tougher. But if there are no children involved, they both did you a great favor. So be done with that. But that's too obvious. What do you do before? Bro, she should have gave you some signs of things to come. She would have shot those flares up in the air. You would have known this was coming. You should have known this was coming. You should have seen the interaction between the two of them and seen it coming. Like, you should have seen all of this. You don't have to be go around being suspicious and asking questions and being crazy, but you also don't need to go around ignoring very simple signs. You should have seen it. If your buddy, look, here's a good sign. Here's a good measure to know if your buddy's trying to fuck your girl. Okay, he's a good one. If you know your buddy's a fucking dog and if he sees a girl that's maybe not as attractive and he's hollering and hooting, but then when he gets around your girl, he acts different, you know he's working on something. Your buddy should be willing to just look like the worst guy. It doesn't matter. In front of your chick, whatever. You know, he might claim that he doesn't want her to think he's a bad influence. Nah, bro. If you catch your friend trying to impress your girl and these subtle things, you know something's weird, something's odd. You know what I mean? Like, there's just signs. There's something. It doesn't mean that they're fucking, but it just means that there's maybe a weird interaction. Now, you don't need to get crazy about it, right? Because let's say you're this girl's marriage material and you're on a marriage road with her, and he's your best friend, and he's been around from the start of the relationship. He's probably going to be around even when you have kids with her. And nothing's happened between them. No kisses, no hugs, no nothing. But they have a little bit of a weird interaction. You know, he might be a cool cat. I mean, he hangs out with you, right? And you're the shit, right? So he's probably cool cat just like you. So it's kind of normal for them to just have a little bit of weird tension, and then it clicks in, you know, and then she just gets used to him being your buddy, and then, you know, it normalizes, and then you don't have to worry about shit. But maybe at the start you might go through that little bit of weird phase, and you just have to be real smart about it and know not to let it get out of hand. And if she's worth it and he's really your friend, it'll never get out of hand. That weird kind of attraction and tension that's going to build up because they're around each other because of you, it'll start to normalize, and then it'll be a thing. You just got to be real smart during that whole transition and not fuck it up. But if he's a scumbag and he's not really your friend to begin with, and if she's a hoe and she would have done it to you later on anyway, then they're going to be fucking. All right? They're going to be fucking. And that's that. And if they don't, and if you just kind of try to brute force physically stand in the way and not let them fuck now, they're going to fuck later, even after you have kids and stuff. So you can't be in denial. You gotta be a real man about this, not lie to yourself. Also not blow it out of proportion and think things are really that bad. You just gotta like really understand it and look at it. And so before you catch your significant other in bed with somebody in your own fucking crib, like fuck, you should see all of these things coming. You should see all of these things coming along. Not be in denial, not obsess about them either, but not be in denial, not ruin your relationship asking a bunch of fucking questions there all the time about it, but not ignore them. It's a fine dance to play. It's very hard to get right. That's why a lot of guys don't get it right.
So what should he do right away? Like,
oh, they're done. They're done. I said that at the start. I'm trying. Some of these questions, like when we had the question with the guy got served by his wife divorce papers. Can't help that guy. He's fucking done. What can you do before that happens? So here, what can you do before you catch him? He's done. I mean, they're done, bro. They're done.
Well, what should he do right away? Should he just like tell her?
He should try not to fucking kill him, which it seems like he didn't, right? So he already did the right thing. He didn't ruin his life by fucking killing him. Even though with a good lawyer, if you do it around the spot, he might actually be fine with a good lawyer. And if he does it right on the spot, like you can't walk out of the room and come back and think about it. Like,
but they're gonna know that it was him that did it. I mean,
but it's like a crime of passion. Like if you just walk in on her and they're in bed together and you jump in and kill him, like you do nothing, you might get a crime of passion acquittal. But like if you like walk out and then you come back an hour later, or if they come back 2 days later, I mean, then you got a problem.
Do you think
if you like a trained guy and you catch him in bed and jump in and put him in a headlock or crack his neck in half, you might actually get acquitted. You might.
Do you think it should be legal to kill someone who's banging your spouse?
No. There are actually provisions in the law that if you're kind of blinded by rape, I'm not just making this shit up. Please Google this. I think I think it has happened where somebody walks in on their significant other. They're filled with rage. They don't know what they're doing. Literally don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they end up killing them. And then they come to it, they calm the fuck down, and then they realize, holy shit, I fucked up, and they get acquitted. It's happened. It's happened because, I mean, it's very impactful. It's not that you're going to walk into court and say, look, she deserved to die because she cheated on me. No, you're married. This is your wife. This is your woman. And you just caught another man penetrating her in your home. Like that can throw some people over the edge and bring him into temporary insanity, into a rage. This is legit. When you love, you hurt. Very legitimate. So it's not, some women or men out there listening that are cheating. Your girl might walk in on you. And if she's got a concealed carry license, she might be able to just blast both of you on the spot and then call the cops and says, I don't know what the fuck just happened. My hubby and some girl are both dead, naked in bed, and there's 2 bullets spent on my gun, but I don't remember anything. Please help. So you be careful out there. No, this is a thing, Steve. It's not like this is a thing, dude. It's not something I just made up.
It seems to me that, these types of situations, the person who's, who gets caught.
You'd have to be a fucking psychopath to not give you some clear signs that things are not good in the relationship.
Well, women are good at that.
No, dude. No. You don't understand. Okay? A fucking psychopath. And here's why. If she was sane within her, if she was fucking sane, then she wouldn't be making commitments to you in a committed relationship and going through the motions while she wants to go fuck other people. She'd be realistic about what she's trying to do. And if she does have good intentions with you, but the relationship is just not great and your buddy's kind of taking advantage of weak moments and things like that, then you should get some clear signs. Now, if she has no real intention of being faithful to you, if she is playing all this thing and giving you one face and then trying to actively fuck your buddy on the other hand and making a pact with you of exclusivity and feelings and all this while she's telling your buddy, meet me around the back, this is all psychopathic behavior. This is not normal behavior. You're sleeping with the enemy. You're in the spider webs. You're in the fucking spider web, dude. It's not normal behavior. Like, she can be sane and be weak to your buddy for whatever reason and be kind of on the fence about what she's going to do. And you'll get signs, clear signs. She'll let you know something's wrong. She might even tell you how to fix it. You're just not listening. So if she's giving you no clear signs at all, trying to make you think everything's all right, fucking your butt, psychopathic behavior.
Yeah, it sucks. It really does, man. So, but it kind of sucks because you have a house. You share the house with this person, share the bed with that person.
Hopefully they have no children together, because children complicate everything. Because then you, even after you leave her, you still got to keep running into her. But if there's no children involved, oh, dude, the time it took him to write the question in, he could have spent packing and getting the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah, well, getting a divorce with kids is one of the worst experiences you can have. It's like a death with no body, you know? So hopefully he's not.
It's rough, dude. It's rough. Hopefully he's got no children with her. Hopefully, you get this lady pregnant and you're in denial of just what a psychopath she is.
Psychopathic reality, huh? Psychological bullshit.
Like, okay, like if there's a revenge fuck, like she caught you cheating before and it was a revenge fuck. Some of this stuff you can claim to make some sense out of it, right? But if she's sitting there trying to, playing it up like everything's great, there are no issues. You haven't been cheating. She acts normal around your buddy, all this thing, and then she's fucking him. Bro, dude.
You ever watch that show Cheaters?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times. Where they get caught,
this reminds
out
me
on the street.
No, but the guy.
They follow him around and then they confront him on the street.
But they put hidden cameras in the house. It was one where literally the husband, the best friend was rooming with them, and like the husband calls her on the phone, and as he's on the phone with her, she's like giving the friend a hand job on the couch, and they like getting hot and heavy together, and then he walks in, and then they sit there like nothing happened. They're just both sitting on the couch, like I don't know. It's just so like fucked up,
Oh yeah. Okay. So when someone's cheating, right? The interaction between the cheaters, right, with the third party that doesn't know what's going on, can either be like the other person, right, is kind of like either one feeling weird about it and maybe kind of jealous of the official boyfriend, or the other one is part of their foreplay and they like the fact that they're sneaking around on this guy and he's an idiot and he's a fool and he doesn't know and we're both getting one over on him, and that's when you get her or him on the phone with the other person, staying real quiet in the background, playing with their dick or whatever it is, and you get it, and it gets very nasty. It's kind of the interaction between them is like every time they're together, there's part of the enjoyment is that they're fucking you over. They're hurting you in the process. So it can get nasty like that as well, for sure. It can get nasty like that. The dynamic between the cheaters can get that sick to where it's part of their foreplay, part of their thing that they're getting over on you. Like they're doing this behind your back and you don't know any better. And you suspected, oh my God, he suspects it. He was asking me and he smelled he smelled your cologne on me, but I denied it. And then, this whole thing, and it becomes a thing. It becomes something that spices up their twisted interaction. It's fucked up, but it happens.
All right, guys. So another great podcast, guys. 5 great topics. We'll have another Q&A coming right up next week. And we'll have another compound episode coming right up as well. For Stevesmi and Rick, another episode of Evolutionary Radio. Have a good one. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a good one, Steve. Have a good one, guys.
Guys, this is the required legal disclaimer. We are only sharing our experience from years of steroid use. We are not doctors, and none of what we say should be regarded as medical advice. Always check with your doctor before taking any drugs or starting any training program.